Maybe it's doing nothing. Maybe it's not complaining. Maybe it's smiling. Maybe it's breathing. But you're going to remind yourself what you're going to do. The more you remind yourself what you're going to do, the more you install the circuits.
Hello, and welcome to the Pacific Channel. I'm your host, Steve Doherty. In this video, we're going to discuss some very important things that may seem to contradict Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings. It's not my intention to contradict him, but instead to supplement and perhaps improve the way we go about getting results. To me, Dr. Joe's information is fascinating, but there may be ways to improve things even more. And I think that by combining the best from his work and the best of other energy healing modalities, we can get better results. My point is, why not use the best from Dr. Joe's teachings, the best from the law of attraction teachings, the best from the teachings of EFT, and the best of other healing modalities, like even the Ho'oponopono meditation technique. To me, EFT is a great tool for anyone who is about to go to one of Dr. Joe's workshops. And it's a great tool afterward too. Some people who get healed at one of his workshops later have their physical problem return. I think the reason that happens is that the root core issue for that person wasn't addressed. I'll discuss this more later. In this audio clip, someone asked Dr. Joe, "Can I focus on the habits I'd like to change instead of trying to figure out the emotions first? Because I'm having trouble pinpointing the specific emotions to focus on. My emotions are so ambiguous. One moment I'm here, the other moment I'm there, but the habits are so clear to me." So Dr. Joe will answer this question by explaining what habits are and how you can have a habit of thought or a habit of behavior or a habit of feeling certain emotions. He's going to say that the work is all about catching yourself in the moment of having a habitual thought, stopping yourself from doing that, and then having a thought or feeling that you prefer. He's also going to say that you have to rehearse the new way that you want to react. You have to figure out who you want to be first, monitor your thoughts, and then become determined to stop yourself the next time, right before you react. And instead, choose to think, act, and feel in alignment with the new you want to be. He's also going to talk about how a belief is just a thought that you keep on thinking. And really, to me, a belief is the root core reason for much of our bad habits. For example, if you believe that you are not worthy, then your body and your subconscious mind have come to an agreement to work together to create the reality of that belief. For example, if a smoker wants to quit smoking, but they have the belief that they will never have enough willpower, then no matter how many times they try to quit, they'll sabotage their results and go back to smoking. Or you may have a belief that you are not worthy and not good enough. Someone mistreats you, you have thoughts of unworthiness, and your subconscious mind and body will create both the reality, circumstances, events, and the normal addictive feelings, hormones, and chemicals to support that belief. Let's listen to Dr. Joe explain what to do, and then we'll discuss it further after.
My question is, can I focus on the habits I would like to change instead of trying to figure out the emotions first? Because I'm having trouble pinpointing the specific emotions to focus on. They seem so ambiguous. One moment I'm here, the other moment I'm there, but the habits are so clear to me. So that's my...
Yes. So I love the question. First of all, I'm still in the process of breaking the habit of being myself. I think it's an ongoing process. So welcome. Here's what I want to say about that. A lot of times, the habits that we perform are really us reproducing an act that's recreating an experience. And what we're trying to get to is a familiar emotion that alleviates whatever it is that we're lacking. And so there's a sequence of a thought that leads to a choice, that leads to a behavior, that leads to an experience, of doing something that leads to a feeling or an emotion. And we could actually have habits of thought. If you keep thinking the same way, that becomes a bad habit. That's an attitude, a bad attitude. You can have habits of choices. You make the same choice to do something in the same way, to have this particular experience that reaffirms the feeling of who you think you are. So the payoff from most habits is the feeling that's familiar and known. And a great example that we use all the time is just the thought of going and getting coffee in the morning from your coffee maker. That starts as a thought, and then you make a choice. Then you head towards that direction. You get there, you do the thing that makes the coffee, you drink the coffee, you have the experience, and you're anticipating the feeling of that experience that your body actually really, really enjoys. You take that choice away from that person, and some people get really mad. You're messing with their feelings. And I'm using coffee as an example because I think a lot of people can relate with it. So whatever it is that you want to change in the habit of the way you think, and I work on this every day of my life. Whatever you want to change in the habit of how you act or behave, how you speak, which is a big one for a lot of people. They're not aware that they're complaining. They're just doing it, and they're complaining about people who complain. So they're unconscious. They're not conscious that they're doing it. So the act of becoming conscious and not going unconscious, as we said earlier, really is the work. So whatever that habit is, and then there are emotional responses that can be a habit as well. When you react to the news, when you react to a coworker, when you react and it makes you feel frustrated in traffic, whatever it is that you react to can be habituated as well. It's a conditioning process. So then in the name of understanding that habit, if it's a redundant set of automatic thoughts, behaviors, and emotional responses that's acquired through repetition, then it means you got to stop responding to that person in the same habitual way that makes you feel a certain way. So it is the act of not doing that and then doing something else to create a new habit. And that new habit could be a new set of thoughts that you want to fire and wire in your brain. And I think the best way to do that is really to think about what you do want to tell yourself when you're in the other habit of thinking the old way. I think, God, if I'm thinking this way in my waking day, how can I switch over to thinking something differently? Well, if I have no circuits in place, if I haven't installed any hardware, then more than likely I'm gonna just get caught in that thought, that program. But if I start firing and wiring the new thoughts, and I know that if a belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again, and I want to create a thought that is more unlimited than the thought that I'm working on changing, then it would make sense if I'm going to abandon one neural network or set of neurological networks and inhabit another, I better install them. And I got to install them so well by firing and wiring that they become more automatic. They become more like a software program something, so that when it's the hardest and I really want to believe in that other thought, I can believe in this thought. So then it becomes very instrumental to when you're changing a habit of thought, to make sure you got something that you can go to. You got a footprint you can step into, and it's got to be done repeatedly, and you got to have a assigned meaning. This is where it matters the most. When people are in our workshops and I'm stretching them in their meditations, they want to quit. I want them to have the thought, I believe in myself, I can go a little further, I'm not giving up on me. I want them to have that thought when it's the hardest, because that'll become their new belief if they keep doing that. And they'll do that easier the next time. If you're going to change a habit in the way you speak or the way you act, it makes sense then you gotta rehearse it. You gotta close your eyes and you gotta think a lot about how you're gonna be in certain situations, or what you are gonna do instead of doing that other habit. Maybe it's doing nothing, maybe it's not complaining, maybe it's smiling, maybe it's breathing, but you're going to remind yourself what you're gonna do. The more you remind yourself what you're gonna do, the more you install the circuits. The more you repeat it enough times, the more it becomes more easy to behave that way. And it becomes more automatic. It's software again. And then, okay, so I usually get into this habit when I get angry, or I get into this habit when I get frustrated, or I get into this habit when I feel unworthy. Okay, I'm working on not feeling any of those things. So what am I going to choose to feel if those feelings come up? Like, what am I going to choose to feel? Can I bring those feelings up, practice bringing those feelings up enough times until I can condition my body to start getting used to and familiar with these feelings? Okay, can I do it at work? Can I do it in traffic? Can I do it at home? And now you're rehearsing, and at the same time you're replacing an emotion that could actually be the very cause of the habit in the first place. Wow, this is where meditation becomes very practical, because you're living one lifetime as if it was in a day, and it's that idea of stepping out of what you would typically do in eternity. And some people do the same things for lifetimes, and this is really a break from what people typically do. What people typically do is their habits just get more evolved. They just do more of the same to try to produce the same feeling, because the first time they felt it felt really good. Now they're trying to feel more of it, and we get stuck in that way. So a habit can be a habit of thinking. It can be a action or a behavior, or a habit can ultimately become an emotional response. The key here, more than anything else, is really start reminding yourself what you're going to do in place of that, what you are going to believe, or how you are going to behave, and ultimately who you are going to become.
So basically, Dr. Joe's solution is to address the bad habit directly by deciding who you want to be first, then catch yourself in your old habitual thinking, feeling, and reacting. Then stop yourself and make the conscious decision to think, act, and feel your preferred way. But also, you must rehearse all of this beforehand. You must practice your new thoughts so that you can install them like new software in your computer mind. To me, that definitely is part of the work, but it's going about it the hard way. I think that working on the habit itself instead of addressing the emotions first is very hard to do. If you only work on the action problem of the bad habit without addressing your negative beliefs that are the root cause of the bad habit, then it's going to take a long time to overcome yourself, and it's doing it the hard way. So to me, this guy's question, can I focus on the habit instead of the emotion, is like asking, can I just focus on this 3D world instead of the quantum field of possibility? Can I work on just the hard, difficult, actionable things I can do instead of creating easily from the quantum field? Can I just focus on the material world and forget about my vibrational frequency? Can I just focus on the bad habit instead of addressing the root cause problem, which are my negative beliefs? Do you see my point? Working on the action instead of the emotion is like trying to use a dull knife instead of an axe to cut wood. When you focus on the root cause of the problem, which is a negative belief, clear that negative belief away, and then elevate your emotion, you leverage the power of the energy that creates worlds. You leverage the power of the universe. It becomes much easier to change your personality to the one that you prefer. And now then, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, Steve, then how do we change a negative belief? That's a huge topic, but basically there are other energy healing modalities that you can use to clear old negative beliefs. A couple of these tools are Ho'oponopono meditation, and of course, you guessed it, EFT. You create your reality based upon what you believe. And yes, a belief is just a thought that you keep on thinking, as Dr. Joe says, but it's much more than that. A belief is your subconscious mind and your body's agreement about who you are in this 3D reality. It drives every decision you make. Then how are beliefs created? Beliefs are created by the events that we have experienced from the past. And most of those beliefs were created when you were just a child. And so what can we do now to change a belief? Clear the negative feelings and emotional charge from past events that are still in your memories, and use a tool like EFT to do it. When you clear up all the negative thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that you have, and then meditate, your meditation will be much more productive. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And please share this with 5 of your friends so that you can qualify to win a free ticket to one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's week-long workshops. Just so you know, I'm going to be making EFT training videos here very soon. And now, please comment below about what you think about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.